everyone. Just a second here as we get started. I am going to double check and make sure we're actually live before we get into this valuable information that we're going to cover. So I'm checking on another system over here. The system that we use changed some of their settings, so just want to make sure that we're actually live. But I see we have some people who are coming on in, so you guys join, tell your friends. We're talking to Anna today from It's About Time. She's going to be covering time management and work-life balance. So make sure you are sharing with your friends and letting them know. Anna today from There we go. If you heard that, so we are good. We're actually live. Anna, thank you for joining me today. Welcome to Boldly's platform.
Hi, Devin. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be spending time with you today.
I'm excited to be spending time with you as well. Actually, for those of you who are joining in, I was talking with Anna a little bit before we got started and sharing with her just how excited I am to talk to her today. I was getting a little geeked out about it because we're talking about time management. And I think that's something that really applies to everyone. And especially this time of year where we're all busy with the holidays and planning for the new year. So like I said, tell your friends, you guys need to listen to this. It's going to be great information, and we're going to share some resources afterwards. But just a quick intro to Anna here. She is a busy wife and mom. So she has a 9-month-old and a 3-year-old, you said, right?
Yeah, she's almost 3. She'll be 3 in January. So I'm doing Christmas and birthday planning at the same time, which is,
Yeah, that's a lot. My sister had a January birthday, so I know what that's like. So she's got that down. But in addition to that, she's also a time management coach for busy professionals, specifically for busy professionals. I wanted to point that out. And she has her own podcast called It's About Time. So she's got a lot of things going on. And Anna, do you mind just sharing with us a little bit about yourself and what led you to going into the time management business?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you again so much for having me. It is such a joy to be here. So like Devin said, my name is Anna Dearmon Kornick. I'm a time management coach, and I'm host of It's About Time, a podcast sharing stories and strategies to inspire better work-life balance. And very recently, I just stepped into a full-time corporate role, as if having a podcast and 2 kids and coaching a business wasn't enough. So I am now the head of community for an amazing tech company called Clockwise. Clockwise is an AI-powered Google Calendar assistant that helps you make time for what matters. Literally, it will rearrange the meetings on your calendar to create space for you to get work done. It is unreal. But aside from that, I was not always a time management coach. I actually kicked off my career click-clacking around in high heels and pencil skirts in the marble halls of Congress as a scheduler to a United States congressman. So my days were spent spending what felt like 10 to 12 hours parked in front of an Outlook calendar, managing one of the most hectic schedules in the country. On a daily basis, I was wrangling hundreds of meeting requests from constituents back in the district, meeting requests from lobbyists down on K Street, dinner invitations, reception invitations, fundraising plans and details. Not to mention, of course, committee meetings and voting, which is the whole reason why they're there in the first place. And I absolutely loved it. It was definitely a trial by fire, baptism by fire situation where I was a very young professional who was learning how to navigate professional time management myself, while also managing one of the schedules of one of the most important people in the country. So it was kind of crazy. And as much as I loved it, I'm a Louisiana girl. So I grew up in Louisiana, and I really started to miss home while I was living in DC. In Louisiana, we're known for our food. And it turns out you can't just get gumbo, crawfish etouffee, jambalaya, and boiled crawfish whenever you want in DC. So I moved back to Louisiana, and that's when I kicked off about a 10-year career in the 24/7 world of crisis communication and government affairs. So you name it, oil spills, hurricanes, droughts, tornadoes, flooding, plant explosions, nonprofit embezzlement schemes, universities on the brink of financial collapse, you name it. And I've probably escorted someone down a back freight elevator and into a side alley in order to avoid TV cameras waiting outside. Serious. That was life. Every day was a new crisis to be managed, and it was chaos to be organized. And I was really good at it, almost too good at it. As you can imagine, that 24/7 life really began to take its toll. And that's when the burnout set in. I really started to miss those important things in life because of work. I was missing friends' baby showers. I was missing important family events. I missed my stepdad's 70th birthday party because I had to work, and that just wasn't worth it to me. And my boundaries were basically non-existent. My relationships were not in a good place. All in all, it was not a great situation. And so I walked away. I walked away from what you would consider a pretty prestigious career in search of something better, in search of something different. I didn't know what that was going to look like, but through some trial and error, I decided to become a time management coach. I had to believe that there was some way that I could combine that interesting time management experience I had gained so early in my career with my love of communicating in order to help others either dig themselves out of that dark burnout place that I was in or help them avoid it altogether. So now I'm a time management coach. I help busy professionals and business owners stop feeling overwhelmed and start spending time on what matters most by mastering time management. And I love the work that I do. I love it so much.
I love it. I love hearing the behind the scenes, how it all came to be. When you were describing it, I just kept picturing things that were happening in the movies, like something that I can't even really comprehend happening in real life. So I can only imagine how high level and busy that was during that time. Now, so Boldly, a little bit about us is one of our main things that we focus on is work-life balance. We're really big on having work-life balance as a company. So when our team members join us, they are joining us looking for that flexibility in their careers where they can have time to attend the school events and attend doctor appointments and flex their time to whatever fits their schedule and what they're looking for. And on the other side of that, our clients are also looking to have an assistant that can help them and can help give them more time in their day as well. So time is really important all around in all aspects of our company. So with all that being said, what are your thoughts on work-life balance and why do you think it might be important and why is time management important? Are there other areas that it affects and your health and your physical life, all those things?
Oh my goodness, that is such a great question. Well, I'll start by saying that I cannot emphasize enough that time management, so often when we think of time management, we think about the time on our calendars. We think about how we're spending our time during the day, what our plans are. But I believe that time management begins with heart management. Time management begins with heart management because you cannot even begin to effectively move things around on your calendar until you truly get to the heart of what matters most to you. Like I said, people really think that let me just buy this planner. Let me get this calendar for my wall and that's going to change everything. But it really starts with knowing what you value, what your core values are, what matters most to you, and what your goals are. Everything then trickles down from that. And, when it comes to work-life balance, there's so much discussion about this. Is work-life balance real? Is it something that we should aspire to achieve? Is it even possible? Because sometimes it feels really, really hard. We're being pulled in all of these different directions. As women, not only do we have our responsibilities at work and to our families, but we also carry that emotional load. I mean, who is it that's remembering the birthdays in your family? Who is it that's doing most of the Christmas shopping? Who's planning the birthday parties? That's the kind of stuff that we take on. And my philosophy about work-life balance is that it has to be unique to you. Just like time management is not a one-size-fits-all thing, work-life balance is not something that can be copied and pasted from one person to the next, from one woman to the next, from one professional to the next. You have to actually stop. And that's the hardest part, is stopping. You have to actually stop, pause, and decide for yourself, wait, what does work-life balance truly mean to me? What does that look like on a daily basis? Am I in a season of life where work-life balance looks like maybe more time with my kids and less time working? Or am I in a season where I'm really going all in on work and family obligations come second? You know, there is no right or wrong answer. It's just your answer. But you can't create work-life balance until you define it for yourself. It's really cool because in the course of over 100 episodes of It's About Time, I've interviewed so many women that have different perspectives on work-life balance. Some subscribe to work-life harmony, where they try to create, you know, a harmony that's fluid between their work and their life. Some subscribe to work-life integration, where everything kind of works together. Joanna Gaines has actually talked about work-life integration too. One of my guests talked about work-life rhythm, that sometimes things speed up and sometimes they slow down. You know, you've got a real fast tempo and then things slow down a bit. And you've got to be able to kind of go with it, adjust your plans to the rhythm of life. And so, you know, I really challenge anybody who's listening and tuning in today to take time, like in the next week, to really define what work-life balance means to you, because that's the first step to actually making it happen.
That's a really good point. I've never really stopped and think about the fact that it probably means different things to different people. And absolutely right. We've all got different things going on. So of course it's going to mean different things to different people. I always ask people when they're looking for a job, if they're looking for part-time work, and then what is part-time work to them? Because that's different to everyone. So I can only imagine that work-life balance is different to everyone.
Yeah.
When you were talking about too, as women, like how busy we are right now at this time of year with everything going on, I saw something the other day, and it may have been your website that shared it, but it was basically a shopping list that men have to do for Christmas and a shopping list that women have to do. And like under men, all it said was spouse, and under women, it was spouse, children, in-laws, parents, grandparents, like everybody.
Yeah, that wasn't me, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, that's it. Like, I was chatting with my husband yesterday and he was like, "Oh, I ordered your gift." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you. That's really sweet." And I'm over here like tucking away the dirty Santa gifts for two sides of the family and my work dirty Santa gift and coordinating with his sister for the parent gift. And, you know, we really do. We take on so much. I mean, granted, I'm also not mowing the lawn and I'm not cleaning out the garage. So there is give and take there, but we take on a lot.
Yeah, in this time of year, I think more so than normal, because we're doing all the Christmas shopping plus the other things we have going on. If we've got kids in school or if we're going to work or events, parties, a lot of those things are happening right now. We're the ones that are bringing the food usually, you know, there's a lot. And I think, you know, when you've got a lot of extra stuff going on, plus you have the whole new year coming with expectations for what that's going to look like, it just adds to the busyness. So I wanted to ask you, for anybody who's listening, who is needing a little help with time management, do you have any tips or advice on where to get started with managing your time?
Yeah, well, first I'll talk about time management during this busy holiday season. Because there's a little bit that's different about this time of year. There are a lot of expectations. We have really high hopes for how we want to spend this time. If you've got kids, chances are you want to try and create some kind of magical season for them, create experiences, and, you know, do all the activities. The piece of advice that I would give you is to actually, again, think about all of the things that you've committed to, whether that's dirty Santa gifts or even Christmas cards or baking this or going to this event, and ask yourself why. Ask yourself, why do I send Christmas cards every year? If you are begrudgingly staying up late to address cards while your family's watching movies in the other room, really understanding why you are participating in different Christmas holiday related activities can kind of open your eyes to, oh, I do this, you know, whether it's Christmas cards or participating in different things. I do this because I feel that it is expected of me. But is it something that I really want to do myself? And I would encourage you that if you think through all of the different holiday traditions you're doing and you think through the why behind them, if you discover that some just really aren't serving you, let them go. let them go for maybe another season, let them go forever, and just let yourself savor the holiday activities that truly, truly mean the most to you and that help you create that experience that you want to have for yourself or for your family. And so I hope that that takes the pressure off a little bit. Like, you don't have to do every single thing ever. And you don't have to always make, you know, the 5-layer cake and send the casserole. Sometimes it's okay to sign up to bring the paper plates, you know? So that said, I hope that takes a little bit of the Christmas pressure off. But, you know, when it comes to time management, you know, I've already said, I believe time management is heart management, and that really starts with knowing your core values. But so let's say that you know your core values, you have a really firm grasp on what truly matters most to you. You've got your goals set for the year ahead, and now you're ready to take action, and you're ready to start getting into that day-to-day, week-by-week time management. It all starts with a weekly planning session. I can tell you right now that carving out 30 minutes, and it doesn't even have to be 30 consecutive minutes. My weekly planning sessions are all over the place on Sundays because I've got 2 little kids. But really, like, carving out 30 minutes to look at your week ahead and assess, you know, what do I have going on this week? What meetings do I have? What evening activities do I have? Just really getting that overview of the week ahead, looking at your spouse's schedule, especially if your spouse, your partner is someone who has a bit of an irregular schedule, that can help you get your idea of what the week ahead is going to look like. If you've got kids and activities, okay, so we've got, you know, ballet on Tuesday and we've got violin on Thursday. We don't have any of those things yet because my kids are too little. It's coming. I know it. But when you have that picture, okay, so we've got this and this, then from there, once you've got that clear picture of what the week ahead looks like, it enables you to identify tough spots before they happen. So you're able to spot the obstacles before they happen, and they enable you to clearly communicate with your partner or other people involved in your life, whether it's a virtual assistant, whether it's a caregiver, whether it's staff that you have. It allows you to communicate, okay, look, Tuesday is going to be a crazy day. We're going to do takeout Tuesday night. Wednesday and Thursday, I've got really long days. We're going to do a crock pot meal, you know? So getting that idea of what your week looks like in advance gives you the opportunity to make decisions all at once. So what this looks like at my house is that I sit down, I look at the week ahead, coordinate with Scott and his schedule, my husband Scott and his schedule. And then from there, we make our meal plan for the week. I mean, that's it. Like, that's the time to do it, because you can plan your meals and plan how much effort you want to put into cooking based on what the rest of your days look like. So once the meal plan is done, then we make the grocery order, because you know we are going to outsource that grocery shopping, because 2 things: we get our time back and we save money, because if I see something that looks delicious at the grocery store, I'm going to throw it in my cart and I don't need it. Outsourcing grocery shopping saves me in 2 ways: time and money. And so once we've got that grocery order in, the next thing I do is I check the weather. I check the weather and I pull outfits for both of my girls. So I'm not a morning person. I'll tell you right now, I am not a morning person. I do my best, but the reason why I do my best is because I prep in advance. And so every Sunday I pull 5 outfits for each of the girls. I pull their bows, and because, you know, they have to wear cute little bows. And I have all of that hanging in their closet. And I was actually telling Devin just before we pressed the live button that I have a checklist that, like, I live by on Sundays and on weekday nights, that we actually keep in our back hallway, that reminds me to pick their outfits, to do the meal plan, to set out my 9-month-old's bottles for the next morning. And all of that, taking care of all of that at once in a weekly planning session, is what is going to set you up for success in the week ahead. You know, how many times have you been, it's like 6:37, everybody's hungry, we're on the verge of hangry, and then you open the fridge to see what you can pull together for dinner, and you've got like ketchup and some hot sauce packets. Like, doing a weekly planning session keeps that from happening. You know, Seriously, like if there is one thing that I would challenge you absolutely to do in the next week, it would be to make a list of what you want to plan at the beginning of the week so that you can walk into your week with that confidence, clarity, and intention about how you're going to spend your time. Calm and prepared, weekly planning sessions, the way to do it.
Everything in me is fighting right now, taking notes. I just want you to know I've got my notepad and my pen right here, and I want to be very studious. But I'm going to go back and listen to this later because your information is just amazing. I've never thought about planning outfits.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That takes a lot of time.
It really, it takes just a few minutes for me. Because I know all I do is I look at the weather and I'm just like, okay, shirt, leggings, because they're not in uniforms or anything. Let's just pull them, hang them up, grab the bows, and go. And that's the thing about creating habits and creating routines is that once they really get ingrained, they don't really require a whole lot of thought. It just kind of happen. It becomes muscle memory. And so that's really where it's come with the weekly planning session and picking their outfits, because man, those mornings that I have, failed for whatever reason, we had a busy Sunday and I thought, oh, I'll just do it in the morning of. I stand there in front of the closet and I'm just like, what? It's like I cannot comprehend in the mornings, and it just takes so much time. So anything I can do to make my mornings easier.
Well, that's great. You shared so many good tools in there. Do you have any specific, either calendars that you purchase or online tools that you use or a specific Post-it board that you recommend? Do you have any favorites that you could share?
Oh, I would love to. So my favorite paper planner is Emily Lay's Simplified Planner. And I love it because it is simple. They have beautiful covers, but the inside is simple. If a planner has too many boxes for me to check or questions for me to answer, I feel bad whenever I don't do all the things and answer all the questions and color in the glasses of water that I was supposed to drink that day. Because, you've seen that on planners before. And I think that's great. And if that is the kind of planner that you love, I am all for it. But for me, I just need to cut the clutter and know what my list is for the day and what I have on tap. So I love Emily Lay's Simplified Planner. I live and die by my Google Calendar. Every single thing goes into my Google Calendar. And one thing that I do each week during my weekly planning session is, as I have my calendar for the week open, I add time blocks for drive time directly into my calendar. One of the secrets for not being late and for getting places on time or early is to actually have that visual hold, whether you draw it in your paper planner or you put it in a time block in your digital calendar for drive time. Because so often we underestimate how long it takes us to get places. And that's when we start to get too close. That's when we get a little too close for comfort and the travel time. And then if you hit too many red lights, or if you get behind, I don't know, a tractor going really slow, who knows, it's over. You're late. And so I highly recommend adding in that drive time during your weekly planning session and putting it in your calendar. So Google Calendar, Emily Lay's Simplified Planner. I've got to tell you, my Apple Watch is actually a huge time management tool for me. And I was very anti-Apple Watch for a very long time because I did not want to be so connected to technology. But what I did is I have turned off nearly every single notification that comes through. So I don't get notifications for emails or I don't know. I don't even know what all you can get notifications are because I have them turned off. But I do get notifications for text messages, except for group texts, because those are all on Do Not Disturb, because that would be a lot. I get text messages, but I have a widget or whatever you want to call it so that I can look down at my phone, look down at my watch and see the next thing on my calendar. So at any moment I can look down and see, okay, from 11:30 to 12, I'm going to do my daily startup routine. So I'm always able to know at a glance what's next. I don't have to pull out my planner. I don't have to pull out my calendar. I don't have to pick up my phone. It's just right there. And that has been huge for me.
That's really smart. I've never thought of using my Apple Watch for that function, but
oh yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah, it is a huge time management tool for me.
Well, thank you again for sharing all this wonderful information. I don't want to keep you too much longer. So before we conclude the call here, do you mind just sharing where's the best place to go if people who are listening are interested in learning more about the resources you have available or listening to the podcast? Where should they go?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So I would love for you to tune in to It's About Time, my podcast about work, life, and balance. You can tune in anywhere you listen to podcasts. I have brand new episodes going live every single Monday, and I would love to connect with you on Instagram and hear what you think about it. And right now on the podcast, I'm actually doing a really fun series on goal setting. This week's episode is all about looking back in order to look forward. This coming week, I'll be talking about why New Year's resolutions just don't cut it. And if you are looking for a partner in your 2022 goal setting, maybe you've tried it in the past and it felt complicated. Maybe you want to set goals, but you don't know where to start. I would love to invite you to Ready, Set, Goals, which is my live goal setting workshop happening on December 22nd. That weird week between Christmas and New Year's when nobody knows what's up. We're all eating leftovers and wearing our pajamas. At least I hope that's the case. That's a really great time to really settle in and plan your goals for the year. So you can register for that. I'd love to see you there at annadkornick.com/goals. And yeah, it's been so much fun to spend time with you today, Devin. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Anna. I mean, I appreciate all the valuable information you've shared with us. And I know it's just a taste of everything that you have to offer. So I'm going to provide the link to your website in the comment section when we're done here so people can go back and check it out. I highly recommend the podcast. There is so much good information on there, and it's such an easy listen. You can listen to it while you're driving. You can listen to it while you're at the gym, while you're getting ready in the morning. And I just listen. It's just like so easy to listen to. And I recently listened to your the one from Monday where you talked about the goals for next year and how that, looking back and to plan for the future. And it's got me excited already about 2022. So I encourage everyone to go check the podcast out. And thank you again, Anna, for joining us. And thank you everyone for listening. We wish you all a very happy and healthy new year.
Thank you.